Jai Hind everyone, my name is Imlipong Jamir. My serial number is 20, and tonight the topic that I'm going to talk about is government school versus private schools. I've divided the topic into three subtopics. That is the definition, the advantages and the disadvantages, and the conclusion of the topic. So first of all, the definition. Private schools are those schools that are being privately funded by an individual. It may be a trust, an organization, or a group of people who fund the private schools. Whereas in comparison, the government schools are being funded by the government themselves. That is through the tax-paid money. So that is the definition of the private school and the government schools. So now coming to the advantages of private schools and government schools. So the first advantage of the private school will be that private schools infrastructure are much more better as compared to the government schools. Whereas the advantages of the government schools will be that in government schools the education is being provided freely to the students, where the students don't have to pay a price, don't the where the students don't have to pay a dime to get admitted into those schools. So the next is the disadvantages of the private schools and the government schools. The first disadvantage of a private school would be that the students are mostly focused in the school curriculum. They may not be able to uh, private institutions. The one disadvantages is that when the fees are not being paid accordingly, there is monthly installments. Sometimes the education of the student may be hindered. The private institute may not deem the student qualified, may not deem the student the authority to write examinations due to the due fees. Next is the disadvantage of government schools. The one disadvantage of government school is that government schools cannot compete when it comes to the education that is provided, the facilities that are provided in comparison to the public schools. The facilities are next to none, and when it comes to the teachers as well, the teachers are not qualified. Though they are qualified, uh, many of the teachers they send proxy to the school. Proxy means a qualified teacher who has already got a job, but he or she sends someone else in their state to do the job, and that person may not even be qualified enough to do the job. So that was the definition and the advantage and the disadvantage of private schools versus government schools. Now concluding the topic, I would like to say that government schools uh, play a very important role when it comes to education for the people who live below the poverty line, whereas the private institutions they play a really the private institution also play a really key role, very important role when it comes to taking the education, taking the facilities that are being provided to the students, inculcating new techniques and facilities to help the students learn more.